My name is Chris Clark. I'm the Artistic Director of Cinema St. Louis. We're the presenters of the 25th Annual Whitaker St. Louis International Film Festival. This year the festival is sprawling. 420 films from 72 countries spread out over 11 days in 16 different locations. It's a mammoth. No one person can really see or do everything, but there's certainly something for everyone in the festival, and there's over 50 free screenings for people of any budget. Our cultural mission is to promote cross-cultural understanding through the art of the cinema. You don't have to be anyone but yourself. You just have to enjoy going to the movies. You don't have to be a film scholar. You don't have to be a member of a special club or anything like that. You just have to like to go to the movies and want to experience the very best in American indie and international cinema. What's really big this year is we have well over 200 guests from all over the world attending the festival, and that's substantially more than we've ever had before. We know what we're not. We're not Sundance, we're not Toronto, we're not a market, we're not one of the big things, we're not a huge city, but the quality of our programming and the way we treat our guests has leaked out amongst other filmmakers, so this is a desirable location at the end of the year. The Tivoli Theater is our home base. Plaza Frontenac is our other main location. We'll be at Rittner High School, Washington University, St. Louis University, Webster University, Washington University, Missouri History Museum, KDHX, a new venue called the ZAC, which is down in Grand Center. And I'm probably forgetting a few, but that's a lot. And we always like to have a very strong St. Louis and Missouri contingent in the film festival, and there's a very strong showing with probably 30 St. Louis or Missouri-based filmmakers participating. For our 25th birthday, we thought nothing would be more appropriate than a documentary about the history of beer in St. Louis.
My name is Bill Streeter. I'm a filmmaker, and we are doing a work-in-progress screening of the St. Louis Brews film, which is a documentary about brewing in St. Louis that we've been working on for the last couple of years. But the film, once it's complete, will sort of connect the history of brewing in St. Louis with the modern craft brewing movement. So, like, one interesting fact is that this year there's 50 breweries operating in the St. Louis region. The last time we had that many breweries operating was in the 1870s. We peaked out with 40 breweries. So we're kind of back to the future in terms of the number of breweries operating in town again. What people will see tonight is mostly history stuff. So there's 5 scenes that are about history. So we'll cover Lemp, we'll cover American beer, Falstaff, and we'll talk a little bit to Earthbound Brewing. All I can say is I hope you enjoy it, and that I had a lot of fun making this film, and I hope to have it finished soon and enjoy what you're going to see now. I will have a drink.
In 2016, we're going to have the largest amount of breweries operating in St. Louis that there's ever been historically. We are a beer town. It's in our DNA. I think the golden age for brewing in St. Louis, many people consider around the 1880s. I'm not sure what the exact number was. I've heard 43 breweries, I've heard 38.
Well, everybody knows Anheuser-Busch, but Lemp became very large. In fact, they were the largest brewery in St. Louis up into the 1880s and 1890s. You had a lot of neighborhood breweries almost on every corner for a while there.
And obviously, Prohibition, everything shut down. After Prohibition, a few of them reopened, and then they consolidated, and ultimately in the 70s, we got down to 1. Anheuser-Busch, they weren't just making beer, they were St. Louis.
Where there's life, there's bud.
Back in the 80s, you might go into a bar and ask, what kind of beer do you have? And they'd be like, oh, we've got everything. And they'd mean like the 6 or 7 Anheuser-Busch products that were made.
Budweiser.
The board of Anheuser-Busch has announced that they are accepting a $52 billion buyout offer from the Belgian brewer InBev.
At the time that the sale was announced, we didn't know what to think. And it was as if something was taking something away from us.
Well, we realized right away that this was a pretty big deal. And then the phone calls started, where can I buy Schlafly Light in 30-pack cans?
what you had after the sale, it wasn't so much that people were like, I refuse to sell Anheuser-Busch products. It was more of the fact that, you know what? Maybe I'll consider putting someone else on. Maybe I'll try that Shoofly beer or whatever that is. It's an incredible time to be a beer drinker in St. Louis.